Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the third and final part of the Amplified with Stream Deck series. In the first part that aired 2 weeks ago, Garen Perkins introduced us to and Stream Deck. In the second part that aired last week, Michael Perakupka showed us how to get started with profiles for the Stream Deck. You can find the recordings of these two live streams posted on the LinkedIn page. So if you missed them, I highly recommend you check them out. In this final part of the series, we're going to take a deeper look into Stream Deck custom profiles and learn about Phil's personal Stream Deck setup. Oh, well, what's that? Where's Phil? Well, Phil will be joining us shortly. It's just me for now. Oh, come on, that's uncalled for. Listen, before Phil joins us, I've got a lot of cool stuff prepared for you. I promise you'll want to see this. Then we'll invite Phil. Sounds good? Great. Here's a quick look at what I'll be covering. I'm going to start from the bottom and lay the building blocks until we get to the top, where I'll put it all together and show you what kind of heights you can reach when you master and Stream Deck together. So let's lay down our foundation by first talking about mmhmm. mmhmm is a video communication super app. It's allowing me to do all this right now. I can easily create compelling visuals to aid in whatever I'm trying to explain. I can make myself look great with visual effects and amazing virtual backgrounds. Now let's take a look at Stream Deck. Stream Deck is our audio mixer, production console, and productivity multi-tool, all rolled into one. And now, ta-da, you get Stream Deck. I have a second camera pointing at my Stream Deck Plus on my desk right now. Let's take a look at it together. Okay, so here it is. Here's my Stream Deck Plus. I could use it to do a lot of different things, like add sound effects,
Use microphone filters.
add a music track, I could even control my Elgato key lights, turn them off, turn it back on, and of course, control The possibilities are endless. Very cool, right? I can practically hear your interest peaking right now. If you don't have a Stream Deck Plus, do not fret, friend, for today is your lucky day. You have a chance to win a free Stream Deck Plus by commenting Stream Deck in the chat right now. We'll be drawing to pick one lucky winner, and you can comment it anytime. I'll also remind you again before this is all over. Even if you aren't picked as the winner, your luck hasn't run out yet. You still have a chance to save 20% off of your next Stream Deck purchase from Elgato Store by using the promo code ZZ-mmhmm. Go to the Elgato Store and pick out your Stream Deck. My personal recommendation is Stream Deck Plus. I'll tell you more on that in a bit. After you made your pick, be sure to enter the promo code ZZ-mmhmm during the checkout for the 20% off. Once you have your Stream Deck, go to the Elgato's download page and download the Stream Deck app. Next, let's visit Elgato's marketplace and download the free plugin for your Stream Deck. Now you can start building your custom profile by drag and dropping actions onto your keys and dials. You're all set. If you're wondering which version of the Stream Deck to pick, I highly recommend Stream Deck Plus because it unlocks a fantastic app called Wavelink. Wavelink allows you to add sound effects, microphone effects, and music to your presentation. And Wavelink is only available for Stream Deck Plus. That is why my recommendation is specifically for the Stream Deck Plus. Stream Deck Plus is a fine piece of hardware. It's got crisp LCD keys, full touchscreen panel, and rotary dials. However, the Stream Deck Plus's power and utility doesn't just end with the cool hardware. No, mon ami. The real power lies in the softwares that you can use with it. They're all free to download from the Elgato's downloads page. Okay, so that brings me to the next building block, the Stream Deck app. You get this from Elgato's downloads page. I already have this downloaded, so come on over to my desktop, live screen shared on mmhmm. So on the left-hand side, you get to see the Stream Deck app. Michael and Garen went over this in great detail, so I'm gonna just stick to one part of it, which is the soundboard actions here. I can drag and drop either one of these onto any one of the empty key slots and assign it to that on the Stream Deck Plus. I'm going to do that just right now. I'm going to drag and drop play audio action onto an empty key slot. There we go. And once I do that, you'll see a lot of options pop up here. And then these two icons is what I want you to focus on. Clicking on either one of these will take you to the Elgato Marketplace page over here on my right-hand side. You could use it to add sound effects or music. You have a great library of copyright-free music and sound effects. Once you have the Stream Deck, it just all comes along with it, you know. So let's go and take a look at some sound effects. I'm gonna go to sound effects and then choose, let's go to doors and then pick knocking noise. So I'm gonna download that. When it downloads, it'll automatically come over to the Stream Deck app, and I can click on this action again and then assign that sound right here. So there's nothing on here, so even if I press the button, it won't do anything. We got to start assigning it whatever sound and music it wants to, that I wanted to have it play. So I'll choose, and from the files, I'll click on knocking on wooden door that I just downloaded. Great. Once you have it there, I'll adjust the volumes. I'll change this to different title. I could change the font size, maybe even change the position of things. A lot of customization. Change the color. Great. And finally, you have these kinds of actions where first one, the one on the left, play, means when you first press, what it'll do. And then the second one will be what it'll do when you press it again. So play and stop, or play and overlap, which means the sound would overlap over each other as many times as you press it. Play and restart would mean that it would restart each time you press play, and then you have loop and stop. And you could choose any one of these options. They're so great. You could have fade in, fade out, or fade in and out both. And I just love that it gives me just wealth of options like that. So now that I have it downloaded and then just kind of assigned it to a key, let's press it. There we go. Now you have a sound effect assigned to one of your keys on your Stream Deck. And you just do that for all the keys on your Stream Deck. You could have multiple pages as well, as you can see, and create your own custom sound effect board, which is so awesome, you know? And there's so many applications for this. You might not think so, but you know, you could say during any one of your presentations, say, oh, hear that? That's opportunity knocking on your door, you know? Something like that. Okay, but listen closely again as I play it. Doesn't sound right, does it? What about music? You know what? It sounds like I'm playing the sound through the phone. This is because it's only playing from my speakers. It's as if I'm in my car hearing our favorite song and putting my phone up to my car stereo. Not ideal way to experience music or sound. My microphone is the only sound source piping into mmhmm. So only the microphone sounds can be heard. In order to give you, the audience, a high quality sound, I have to find a way to digitally route the sound from the Stream Deck and combine it with microphone sound and pipe it into mmhmm together. And that is where Wavelink comes in, our next building block. Again, please be aware that Wavelink app is only compatible with the Stream Deck Plus version. All right, let's go to the Elgato's downloads page once again and find Wavelink and install it. What you're seeing behind me is the Wavelink app, screen shared live from my desktop. And on big picture, on a global level, what it's doing is taking all the audio sources that I'm adding onto Wavelink and mixing it into one single sound source that could be used by any other app that takes a microphone, like mmhmm or Zoom and whatnot. So take a look over here on the left-hand side. I have my microphone selected as one of the sound sources. And then I'm also adding another sound source called Stream Deck. So those two sounds can now be played together, mixed together, and consumed by mmhmm. That's what's happening right now. You'll see two kinds of volume controls for each one of these. You could individually select the volume controls for each of the audio sources, both of them. And on the left-hand side is called the monitor mix, And on the right-hand side is called the stream mix. Likewise, you could change the overall volume of those combined channels by going into the monitor mix and changing the volume levels over here. And then also finally the stream mix and then changing the volume levels over here. So what's the monitor and stream mix all about? Monitor mix is what you can privately monitor, the levels and volumes and things in your ear. And it can be really helpful because as I'm playing the music and sounds, I want to be able to hear them. So I have it unmuted here from the Stream Deck. And that'll give me the perfect kind of audio cues. If you're playing it from your speakers, and that's not really going to help you because it'll be picked up by a microphone. So that's why properly monitored. And the stream mix level are what's going to be going to your audience, and I control that volume level. Fairly simple, right? If I wanted to add another sound source, let's say I'm playing YouTube video on Firefox, I could add Firefox as a sound source and then have the sound playing from whatever that's happening on the browser and be mixed into all together by Wavelink. So taking all the different audio sources together, combining into one thing so you could use it on whatever app you want, that's what Wavelink does on a global level. All right, so Wavelink is combining all the audio sources that I want to be recorded on mmhmm together into one thing, what's called a single virtual audio device. And the name of that single virtual audio device is called Wavelink Stream. So I simply go to mmhmm, open up my microphone selection window, and then select Wavelink Stream as my microphone source. Now I can record in mmhmm with all the sounds playing from my Stream Deck. Check it out. It used to be that it kind of sounded like it was coming through a phone, not very clearly, but it's being digitally mixed in, so perfectly clear. Pretty cool, right? Let's say I want to do the same thing, but in a live presentation on Zoom. It's simple. Just like I did with mmhmm before, I simply go to the microphone option in Zoom and then select Wavelink Stream as the microphone source. Now my Zoom audience can hear all the sounds playing from my Stream Deck. We finally finished setting it all up. Let's see what we can do when we put it all together. If you aren't familiar with these apps, it can seem intimidating, but I promise you that it's simpler than it sounds. If you can weather the storm of the learning curve, you will see the light at the end and send you into the presentation enlightenment. And I believe in you. You can join me here in presentation heaven. Come, combine the power of mmhmm with Stream Deck Plus to elevate your presentation to the next level. That was really fun. Okay, let me try another bit. Hello, my name is Ajin from Seoul, South Korea. I want to give a shout out to my brother in San Jose. Woo! All right, thank you so much for calling, Gene from South Korea. This one goes out to your brother in San Jose, California, here on KMHM, rocking all around the globe. That was pretty fun too. I often think fun is a critical missing part in many of our presentations. Being entertaining, even in professional settings, will help people pay more attention and be remembered. But I must admit, it's not something I'll do for every presentation. So let's take a look at some examples, practical examples of what you could do for every presentation. How about a meeting waiting room? Let's say I'm hosting a meeting and I join 5-10 minutes early and give you a waiting room with some music to let you know that there's somebody already there waiting for you. You know, I could just have some ambient music with a slide saying meeting will start soon. I could even combine on my Stream Deck, have a multi-action, have one button press, play the music, mute my microphone and mute my camera, and then press it again to unmute my microphone and my camera to pop into meeting right away. It's pretty useful, right? And how about using some sound effects for live reaction once the meeting is on the way? Let's say I dropped a really stinker of an idea and I just wanted to just disappear. Okay, sorry, that was a bad idea. Bye. What about applauding someone once they finish a great presentation? Pretty useful, right? And adding just little bits of sound effect along with your presentation really goes a long way. I'm gonna reuse some of the slides that I showed you earlier. Breaking news, Ajin loves Stream Deck. Loves Stream Deck. Everyone, now is the time to get serious. Time to act is now. Oh wait, it's not now? Okay, scratch that, scratch that. What a fantastic presentation. Everyone, let's give a hand. Yeah. I hope you're seeing the value of adding some bits of sound effects into your presentation and what it does for you. Let's look at the final practical example, because I think this comes up a lot when people want to share external videos that's on your hard drive or YouTube, for example, but you want to share it with sound. You used to not be able to do that on alone, but now you can with Wavelink and Stream Deck Plus. So check it out. I have a YouTube video of ad playing on my Firefox browser, and I'll go ahead and play it now live with sound.
Can't get schedules in sync? Update everyone fast by recording a video with mmhmm. Perfect for demos, updates, and presentations.
Really cool, right? I think those are the 3 practical examples that you're going to really enjoy and perhaps use it almost every presentation or meeting. Everyone, thank you so much for watching my solo portion of Amplify with Stream Deck. We covered a lot of things today. So we talked about and Stream Deck, we talked about the Stream Deck app, and we talked about the Wavelink app that comes exclusively with Stream Deck Plus, and putting it all together, what it looks like. And I hope you saw the massive value that Stream Deck Plus brings to your presentation game. I really hope you did. If you don't have a Stream Deck Plus, don't worry, because we're doing a free giveaway of a Stream Deck Plus. If you comment in the chat right now, the word Stream Deck, you have a chance to win a free Stream Deck Plus. We will be trying to pick one lucky winner. And even if you aren't that one lucky winner, you still have a chance to save 20% off of your next Stream Deck purchase from the Elgato store by using the promo code ZZ-mmhmm. So get yours today. I just cannot recommend it enough. All right, everyone. So here is the part that I think you've all been waiting for. Let's bring in Phil and speak to him about his personal Stream Deck Plus setup and his recording setups. All right, we have a very special guest, everyone. Please welcome co-founder and CEO of Phil Levin. Yeah.
Nice.
Hi, Phil. It's very great
Gene.
to have you.
Nice to see you. Thanks for doing this.
Nice to see you too. Of course. Thank you for being here. Well, it's no small secret that there are many big fans of you, Phil. So one such super fan is our very own community member, Richard Zoltner. And Richard was very excited about your video announcing partnership between Stream Deck and And then he went on to ask if you could share what's on your Stream Deck and why. He also wanted to know what the rest of your setup looks like and if you have any other cool gadgets. So we would love to hear the answers to these questions. And let's start with what's on your Stream Deck Plus and why. Here I'm showing my profile, but let's switch over to Phil's profile because I have that right there. So this is page 1 of your Stream Deck. And I'm also showing a camera view of my Stream Deck uploaded with Phil's profile. So if you could walk us through what's on or what's each button. Some of them are self-explanatory, but what's this button up here? Because that one seems important when you put it on the very first.
Yeah. Well, my philosophy on a lot of this stuff, on productivity in general, is my productivity, for me, it has as much to do with the kind of mood I'm in as anything else. And so I look for things that let me be more efficient and more productive, but I also look for things that put me in a better mood when I'm working, just because that has a bigger effect on my productivity than almost anything else. So a bunch of the choices that I've made over the years aren't necessarily the most practical. They're the ones that kind of make me smile when I use them. And I've just found that that's really important. That's really important to in terms of how much I can get done and the quality of the work that I do. So I don't. I used to try to be extremely efficient, optimize everything, to the second, to the pixel. And now I've decided that actually my happiness going through the day is more important than anything else. So the Pac-Man is my calendar. I needed a button that brings up my calendar. I pretty much live in my calendar. The Pac-Man is that's the button I push the most frequently whenever my Google Calendar isn't in the foreground. So I push that, it brings up my browser with the Google Calendar loaded, and I pretty much live off of my calendar. I just do whatever my calendar says, and it's kind of the animated Pac-Man to just remind me that it's just one thing at a time. And when a day seems overwhelming, like I have 500 things to do.
I think it's real cool. Yeah, I think it's real cool to have an animated button.
Yeah, it's a nice feature of Stream Deck. I like it a lot.
It really is, because it's got a full LCD screen as a key, so you could put animated GIFs or anything you want in there, and it'll show up really nicely. So I guess the surrounding buttons are the next most often things you use. We got here that opens up. This one's for Apple Mail, and then we have one over here for Evernote. So those are the other ones that you use often, I guess, right?
Yeah, and Figma and Slack. So I pretty much
Figma and Slack.
My day is pretty much in Figma, Slack, Safari, the browser, but that's just always open. I barely need a button for that. And then Evernote, and then occasionally email. Although honestly, that email button, see, you've got my profile, but it's loaded, it's connected to your account, so you're not seeing.
That's right.
Yeah. So my email, I never push that email button. It's just there because it makes me laugh, because on my system it says it's badged, with how many unread emails I have, and right now it's reading 273,982. Which I think is
see it.
Yeah,
I see. Gotcha.
Yeah,
it's one of your happiness buttons that you set up.
Well, it makes me happy not to push it.
Right. What about this CPU button? I thought this was a very interesting choice. Do you use like a lot of very heavy loaded, CPU heavy programs?
Yeah, sometimes. That also brings up the activity monitor when I push it. So at a glance, it kind of gives you the CPU, and that's one of the standard Elgato utilities. But then if I push it, it brings up the activity monitor with more detailed information, and it's kind of a leftover from probably a year and a half ago. We were developing new versions of that were some of the features were really CPU intensive, and we were trying it. I was trying it in different hardware, and so I was like kind of constantly living in the activity monitor just to see how different things affect it. I don't really need it very much now, because it's been, our performance has been much better and pretty stable for the past year or so. But it still makes me feel, I like to pretend that I'm still an engineer, and so it makes me feel technical to have it.
Cool. All right, so I do see that you have a light control here. I'm guessing we're going to see that later on when we see the rest of your setup. So I'm guessing it just turns on and off. I love this part here, your world clock.
Yeah, so I like, this particular Stream Deck, the one with the dials, right? This is the, sorry.
Yeah, Stream Deck Plus.
It's the Plus, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is my favorite one. So I also have the big one with just a lot of buttons, but I've started using the Plus with the dials because I really like the dials. For some things, they're really practical. But again, like, I just like dials. It make me happy. I like turning things. So just for that, like, it's worth getting. But also the screen, you can swipe across the multiple pages. So it's a really easy way to navigate. Is just the swipe across the screen. So I really like this design. So on this particular screen, this is my general launcher screen. And the dials I've set to the world clock, the Elgato world clock. And what I did is I set one of them, and I put in all of the cities that where people that I talk to a lot live. And then I just copied it to the other four, so they all have the same cities. And so I can just use the dial to spin between cities based on who I'm talking to. So if I'm talking to, right now, I think you're in Seoul, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So I'm in Arkansas, you're in Seoul, so I could just turn the dial.
That's right. And, I could turn this dial here, and it'll show Seoul right there. So I just turn the dial super fun over here.
Yeah. So if I'm if I'm on a call with up to 4 other people, I can kind of at a glance see what time everyone's at, which I like a lot. And then and then I use the screen to just swipe to different pages when I need them.
That's right.
I use 3 pages of this.
Let's do that right now. So I'm gonna swipe over to our next page.
Yep.
There we go. So this is the second page of Phil's profile. We have one over here that opens up once again. These are the buttons from the free plugin that you could download from Elgato's marketplace. And over here, this is, I think, toggling between full screen. And over here is toggling slide. Over here is record. And then could you tell us about these bottom row of buttons, please, Phil?
Yeah, so this whole page is kind of my general page. This is when I'm using I'm usually in this page, sometimes in the next one. But this is my general purpose one. And so the stuff at the top is if I'm presenting. either in or if I'm making a recording, or if I'm doing it on Zoom, through kind of whatever. These are the most common things that I use. So the top row is, shows me full screen or small, or, so I can kind of easily toggle that, or it hides and shows the slides. These are things that I'm just like frequently doing. And then the record button is mostly when I'm making recordings myself. And most of them, honestly, I'm using it as a stop button. So I'll hit record, and then that way I know it's in that corner, so I could just hit stop without looking down. Again, like that's not as big a deal anymore because now we have trimming and recording, so it's very easy to trim the last couple of seconds off. In fact, we're working on ways to make that automatic. But it's still nice to be able to just by feel hit the record or the stop button without having to look where it is. And then the 4 buttons on the second row are my Giphy reactions. So that's if I'm, sitting on a call, either in or using on Zoom. And, these are my most common reactions. So, if something is going too slow, I'll put this one up. Or, if I'm in agreement with someone or disagreement, I do these. So these are basically my quick Giphy reactions, which I wind up using quite a bit. And then on the sliders and the buttons here, again, this is for my everyday use. So I've got the first one. I'm actually using the dial. It's the go to slide, right? So that lets me just advance previous and next in the slide. So I can, again, without looking, if I have a presentation loaded, I could just step through the slides back and forward. Or if I want to go to the first one, I can just very quickly, jump to the first slide. The next one is size. So that one is, kind of makes me bigger and smaller, which is fun to do. And then fade, I use this one a bunch. And I've got all of these set so that if I push them, it returns me back to 100%. Right. So if I go
That's
small,
very cool.
and then I push it, it always gives me back. So if I make myself disappear, all I have to do is push it. I don't have to spin. And that's super handy. And then the last one is rotate, which just makes me rotate. And that is, not very useful, but it's a lot of fun. And again, a lot of this, I just put it here because it makes me happy, and my in the moment mood is a good predictor of how much I'll get done in the day. So I just sometimes kind of like rotating.
It is really cool. I really like it. It is really fun. It is fun, and like you said, dials. It's really so well done. They're in quarter dials, so they work backwards and forwards. That's why this go to slide is really helpful, because you might think you might have to assign back previous and next slide here, but they will take up 2 slots. Instead, you could have just one dial and then they'll do all of it, and it feels really nice. Like you just gotta get yourself to feel this, but it feels really nice how it actuates. So it does make me have to rotate myself
nice little
too.
clicky action, and they're all buttons too, right? So again, if I push it kind of goes back into my normal stuff. So if I push the rotate one, it goes 90-degree rotation. So I can kind of stick myself to the side of the screen if I want to do that. Not that I usually do.
That is really cool. Yeah, the occasion may arise. I just love this part here too. I just love that you have those reaction Giphies. I think that's one of the cool features of Stream Deck that you could use with, and kind of elevates your live meetings and whatever you're doing. So I really loved when I first loaded up your profile. I think this was my favorite page because of that.
I like the reaction. Giphies are just good for reactions, and obviously you can put whatever media you want in there. But I wind up using these a lot, so I was happy to have them.
Cool. All right, so let's go to the third and final page for Phil's profile here. Could you tell us about this page, please?
So this was my kind of setting up in page. It's basically controls the main appearance. So it's my most frequently used backgrounds. And then the dials are my lights, because I have 4 Elgato lights. Probably only really need 2 of them, but we can talk about when I show you my setup. I'll talk about why I have 4, and I can control each one individually based on time of day and what effect I'm going for. And then the background buttons are set my background. So the ones in the top 4 are these rooms that I use frequently. So I have these window views. I have spring, and I have them kind of in season order. So it's winter, spring, summer, and fall. And I kind of like going through all of them too, based on mood. And this changes. Sometimes I have these 4, sometimes I have another 4 loaded. Yeah, I've been sitting in the spring one mostly these days. And then the bottom 4 are more functional. So this is where I live. I live in Bentonville, Arkansas, right? A couple of minutes away from the very first Walmart here. So people ask me where I am. I like to just push the button and say like, hello from Northwest Arkansas. I like the Paper World one. It's kind of one of my favorite OG backgrounds. I think it's just kind of beautiful. I like the map one. The map one I do a lot. Here, actually, like let's demonstrate this. I can hide all of the stuff, right? So I just push the button to hide the thing, and then we have the map. And then if I'm on a call, I kind of go like, hey, like where's everyone? And I put myself over here.
Oh yeah,
and
I can put myself right over here.
Yeah, and you can kind of see where people are on the call. So it's stuff like that. I think there's like a bunch of the backgrounds we have are interestingly functional. I like the map one because I like it's a good way to like
this too.
Kind of get started. Yeah. Sometimes I use the one the arrow one, and I just say, okay, if we have to make a decision, I'll say like, all right, let's say this decision, who's with me, and then I like put myself on one side, and then people can go closer to me or further away based on if they agree or disagree. So I like having this, but the map one is probably my favorite sort of casual. As people come in, they just sort of put themselves where they are. And since we have a pretty international group of people, it's fun to just see where in the world everyone is when you're talking to them.
It really is so cool. Like I just love this part, this intuitively interactive part of the call experience, where you just immediately know instinctively, oh, like I'm gonna place myself over where I am at, and it becomes a very fun conversation starter, icebreaker. I love that. Perfect.
Yeah. And it's fun to see like. If you've got a few people, you don't have to say anything. You just kind of do it and move yourself, and then people will start moving themselves. Or you can say, "Hey, where's everyone going for summer break?" And people can, move around. I might go to Brazil again this year, so I might be down here.
Cool.
Right now, I'm over here.
I would love to check out Brazil. Awesome.
That's great. And then the last one is just is Oostroids. That's our little game for
sorry.
Just getting set up. No problem. Here we go.
There we go.
And you use the arrow keys to navigate and the space bar to shoot, and you can kind of while waiting for people.
I keep on going to different slides because of my arrow keys. Sorry about that.
I know both of us are using it.
Gotcha.
And blow up asteroids just for fun.
That one is really cool. Maybe it's a little known fact, but that's a fully functional asteroid game you could play within your call. How cool is that?
Hopefully at the beginning of your call. Maybe as you're waiting for people to join.
Right. It's a nice kind of time killer before you join up a call with everyone. All right. So so we just went through all of Phil's the Stream Deck profile, where first page we had a lot of your productivity tools and your world time clocks, probably the things that you use the most and need to check on the most. We talked about how it's more about kind of giving joy, right? Then for productivity. And Phil's favorite button right here, where he has a whole bunch of mails just kind of batched up. Second page was about when he's recording with when he's in meeting with using reactions GIFs down there. And then the third and final page, some of the classic backgrounds, some of his favorite backgrounds. And I see a lot of these backgrounds show up when we see Phil in our company All Hands. So I recognize those backgrounds right away. Excellent. So thank you so much, Phil, for walking us through how and why you have your Stream Deck Plus set up. People, including myself, just love hearing about your thought process and your setup. We just can't get enough. So speaking of setup, we would love to learn more about the rest of your setups. So here's Phil's going to show his modern setup, but here's what I know about Phil's setup from back in 2021, if you're curious. Phil was using a mirrorless DSLR camera. This is Fuji X-T4 with 16mm lens. And then for microphone, he would have the Rode Video Mic Pro that's mounted as a shotgun mic on top of his camera. And Phil used to just use natural sunlight. He would be in front of a window and not used to use really many of the powered lights. And then there's an accessory, another great Elgato accessory, Elgato CamLink 4K that would connect over your DSLR into your MacBook Pro. And for green screen, you used to just hang up a green fabric in your back wall. So that's what I know from way back. So I would love to hear how your setup has changed since then, please.
Yeah, it's pretty much all different. It's really evolved over the past couple of years. I'm pretty much all Elgato at this point, and that kind of happened organically, like one piece at a time. I just I think the first Elgato thing I got was the microphone, the Wave 3, and then I got some lights, and kind of over time it developed because they're just nice and they work well together. And it's a much simpler setup because they don't have the DSLR and all that stuff. So currently this is kind of what I see right now. And you can see yeah, this is my office. By the way, we have new panning, cropping and panning in if not everyone may know that yet, because I think we just released it, or maybe we're just about to release it. Anyway, we either just released it or we're just about to release it. But if you crop, you can crop anything now, and so you can crop an image.
That's right.
You can like hold down the option key and you can pan inside of it. So I've got this cropped to be 16:9, so I can fill up the whole screen and I can kind of pan around. But this is my setup. So I've actually got 4 lights. It's too many. It's kind of ridiculous. But you have 4 Elgato lights. The 2 up here are like the big Elgato lights, and then the 2 smaller ones here are the key lights. I don't think I need all 4. I just the way that I bought them, I wound up with 4, and I've got the 2 big ones actually not pointed at me. I've got the 2 big ones pointed behind me and angled down to the green screen. I've got a green screen set up. And so they're lighting up the green screen, which does make a little bit of a difference. Although honestly, I think I need this less now because now that we have automatic green screen calibration in the product, it actually does a much better job than I did manually calibrating it. And so I used to have the 2 big lights lighting up my green screen because I really needed that, so I wouldn't have to keep futzing around with what the green screen looks like. But I don't need that anymore. I don't have that anymore. So I mean, I still have them just because I haven't gotten rid of them, but I don't think it's necessary because the auto calibration does a really good job. I'm just kind of used to having it. Plus, I kind of use them as the room lights. If I'm just reading or something in my room, I change the color temperature of these Elgato lights to something warmer, and they're just nice room lights. And the 2 key lamps, the 2 key lights, which are the smaller ones on either side of my monitor, those are just pointing at me. And this way, I'm less dependent on the natural sunlight. And I have the dials, as you saw, set to control each of the lights individually, so I can vary based on the time of day. I can really vary the mixture of natural sunlight and where I'm getting from the Elgato lights. And it's really fun because I can push each of the dials to turn the lights on and off. And so it's just satisfying because like when I sit down at my desk and I push 4 buttons, it's like I'm starting a helicopter or something. I'm like push, lights up all the lights. It just feels like I feel like a kid, the way I would imagine, turning on Airwolf, if anyone is my age.
I remember Airwolf
from the 80s. Yeah. So 4 lights. I've got the let's see. I've got the Elgato microphone, the Wave 3. That was the first thing that I bought. I still have that. That's sitting right over there. I've got the teleprompter, which is the thing that's up here. And I've got the Elgato Facecam Pro in the teleprompter, behind the teleprompter.
Gotcha.
The Elgato prompter is great. It's really cool. I don't actually use it as a teleprompter that much. It's a lot of fun to use it as a teleprompter. Like I'd actually never used the teleprompter before I got it. And so I played around with it, actually reading off of it. And it's a ton of fun. I kind of like doing it, but I just don't do that very much just because I don't really need to. So what I use it for is actually how I'm using it right now is I put the window that I'm looking at in there. So I either have the window in there, just full screen with the sidebar hidden. So I'm just seeing it full. So that way I'm maintaining eye contact, right? So like right now I'm looking at you, I'm looking into the camera because the camera is behind the teleprompter. Or if I'm on a Zoom call, I've got the Zoom window up there. So again, it's sort of like, it's a way that just guarantees that you're just like making eye contact because the window I'm looking at is right in front of the camera. So it's great for that. So even if you don't use it to read off of, I actually think it's worthwhile if you are either on a bunch of video calls or make a bunch of videos. I think it's a really good investment. We're working on some still secret features for the Elgato prompter, which I think are going to be super magic. I think they're going to be like killer features that are going to make people want to have a teleprompter. Not quite ready to talk about those in more detail, but hopefully in the next few weeks we'll be making some announcements about that. But even if it wasn't for that, I would use it just to have as like a little second display that's up there. And then from the front, so it looks like this, right? So like I would be sitting, back here. And so I've got the Elgato collapsible green screen behind me. I've got the big version, the kind of the extra large version, because that gives me enough room. The whole thing is sitting at a standing desk, so I can raise it to stand or sit, and the screen is big enough to kind of fit all of it. And if I need to like crop the camera a little bit, I can do that. And you can see the back of the prompter with the camera stuck in it and all that stuff. So yes, I've got the Elgato, the microphone, the wave through microphone, the Pro camera, the prompter, 4 lights, and a green screen. So it's kind of all Elgato. And honestly, until you asked me, until you told me you want to talk about the setup, you kind of asked me to figure out what it was. Didn't even realize it was 100% Elgato. I know, which sounds kind of weird because we were talking about the partnership, but it wasn't like didn't really plan it. I just like one at a time upgraded things, and it turned out it was all Elgato. I really like it. The only thing that isn't Elgato is the arm that the prompter. This is actually the hardest part of the setup for me, was how to get the prompter like right here, like this mess of cables, and it's on this like Jorby Gorilla Pod arm because I have to like balance it to sit right over my monitor. The arm that it came with just wasn't useful. It just didn't position it at the right angle or the right place. I had to get this like much more flexible thing. That was the only difficult part of the setup, was actually just getting the prompter and the camera like angled correctly. And I needed the flexible tripod for it.
This is
I'll also
very cool.
say that, yeah, it's kind of messy, but I'm always like suspicious of people with clean desks.
Really?
Yeah. Something about having a clean desk. Something about having a clean desk, it doesn't resonate with me. I don't mean like a filthy desk. Like I don't like it, if there's like food crumbs and stuff, that's disgusting. But like an uncluttered desk, I think a cluttered desk is like a sign of an uncluttered mind. Is kind of how I like to tell myself.
Interesting. And we love hearing those bits of your philosophy, that comes through whenever you talk. Like we really do. So I like that. I'm gonna keep that in my back pocket, because my desk is cluttered. So I'm gonna take that, like as a personal compliment. No
offense to people with clean desks. I'm sure it's also fine.
No offense, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is a great endorsement for Elgato in general, that you were just buying a piecemeal and they just realized, oh wow, it's 100% Elgato. It's not like you were just like they were sponsoring and you just bought a whole bunch of stuff. You just did it by piecemeal. And I also have Elgato key lights. They're great.
Yeah, the lights are really good. I think the only 2 pieces that aren't Elgato are the arms. So the arm that the microphone is on, I forget where I got it from, but some third-party flexible mic arm. Just because I wanted to, because again, it's a sit-stand desk, so I wanted to be able to position it more flexibly. Because if I'm standing, I'm usually further away from it, so I want to be able to like swing the microphone out and that kind of stuff. And then the tripod that the prompter sits on. But everything else, Elgato.
Can I ask a question about your standing desk? Like, do you sometimes record while you're standing up, or is it that you work while you're standing up?
Both.
Your standing desk?
Yeah, both. So it's I forget what brand it is. I don't think it's just something they ordered off the internet. I don't remember necessarily even what the brand is. But yeah, I record and I do calls, both sitting and standing, and it kind of depends on the mood that I'm going for. If I'm doing a chat like this, it's usually better to be sitting. And so I'm sitting now, especially if the other person is going to be sitting. Because let's actually get rid of all of this stuff. If the other person is going to be sitting as well, then like it's just better. I think it's just a better energy. To be sitting, it's a little bit more casual. If I'm recording, and I just want to do something that feels like it's a higher energy thing, it's easier to do standing. So if I'm doing a pitch or a presentation, if I'm going to do like a long informational thing, sometimes I'll sit. If I want to do something quick and just get people excited, sometimes It just feels different. And my suggestion is just to try it both ways and see what the results are. And pick the right. Like I try to pick it based on what I'm trying to accomplish. So I'll do both. And then if I'm working, I do. I'll do a lot of both. Although honestly, I don't actually work that much from this desk. I'm usually, just take my laptop and go sit somewhere else.
Gotcha.
For work. And actually, and so of course, this is my at-home setup. About half the time I'm not, I'm just traveling or I'm somewhere else, and then I'm just using my laptop. I don't actually have anything. It's just the laptop is the new MacBooks. They're just pretty good. Like the camera and the microphones are just good enough. And
gotcha.
I don't bother with a virtual background. I just do the real background, and I just frame it correctly. And all the slides and stuff will work without a background. So if I'm not at my desk, I just don't worry about it and just pick a nice looking background in real life and use that, and then try to get natural sunlight.
That's a great part about You got a lot of flexibility with that. Sometimes you can have a really nice, a real background if you're in a nice place. It really works well when you have slides kind of floating above it. I love that style. Michael Perekupka does a lot of that, where with his a bedroom background. All right. So I think that pretty much covers everything we wanted to find out about you, Phil, about your personal Stream Deck Plus profile and your recording setup at home. It's what we've been clamoring about. We've been curious about. It has changed a lot from what I've known about your setup since 2021, and it makes sense that it would have.
Yeah, I think I enjoy optimizing the setup and changing it. And so if we talk again about this in a few months, I'm sure it'll be several things will be different. And if we go into the 2 years, it'll all be different. It's just like to me that's it's part of the enjoyment is I like feeling this sense of agency, right? That like I can influence directly my work environment, and I can do it. I can do it with a mind towards what makes me the most efficient, but also just like what gives me these moments of pleasure and joy as I'm using it. Like the knobs. Like I like the way the knobs feel. I like pushing the Pac-Man guy when I'm like, okay, time to go to the calendar. I like not pushing the email button, but seeing that I've got 237,000 unread emails or something. Some people would find that very stressful, but I think it's kind of funny. So, if I get tired of it, I'll change it, and it's cool to be able to do that.
Awesome. Well, everyone, that's our time with Phil. I'm certain Richard and many others are very happy to learn about your setup. Thank you so much for your time, Phil, and thank you for answering all our questions.
Thanks, Eugene. Thanks, Richard. And thanks to everyone in our community. Please reach out. Let me know how we can continue to make better.
All right. Bye. Okay. One more time, everyone. We're doing a free giveaway of a Stream Deck Plus. For a chance to win your free Stream Deck Plus, comment the words Stream Deck in the chat right now. We'll be drawing to pick one lucky winner, and it could be you. Even if you aren't that one lucky winner, you still have a chance to save 20% off of your next Stream Deck purchase from the Elgato store by using the promo code ZZ-mmhmm. So remember to use that promo code at the checkout to get your 20% off. This has been Amplified with Stream Deck series. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.
Can't get schedules in sync? Update everyone fast by recording a video with mmhmm. mmhmm videos are perfect for demos, updates, and presentations. Trim, delete, and reorder sections to get right to the point. Fix mistakes by re-recording them. Forgot something? Add it later. Nothing explains your ideas better than you do. Explain yourself.